Hey, everybody, listen, welcome into the building. Last night, y'all, was last night. Last night was last night, and I had to shut this thing down early last night. Tonight, I'm committed to do it 60 minutes, and that's it. Last night got wild and crazy. And I guess I have to, I'm going to see how I can put out the rules so the rules can kind of always remain in the atmosphere. I told the people, catch the train, don't catch feelings. Catch the train, don't catch feelings. And it went a little bit to the left. But it's okay. I had to I had to bring it down. I had to meditate. And I had to say, okay, am I coming? What I'm doing? What am I going to do today? But I'm back. I'm here. So I got a couple announcements to make. I have been watching The Real Housewives of Potomac. They already had 2 episodes. I'm trying to see when I can squeeze it in and when I can recap it. But I will say this. So far, I'm liking The Real Housewives of Potomac. The only thing I do not like is the fact that they're making a mockery out of this DUI situation. Don't like it. Other thing I could say really quickly that I don't like the fact that Mia is playing around with this paternity issue with her kids. But I'm going to figure out when we can recap The Real Housewives of Potomac. We got to get into it because I'm liking it and I am watching. But it's trending topics. And the title is called Wild. Wild. So this is a story I couldn't do last night. It's uncovering the discrimination in the NYPD. A New York detective says she was discriminated against. So I want to do that story because I didn't get to do it last night. Then we're going to talk about Diddy's latest lawsuits. That Tony Busby, he promised us they were coming. He said, give them a minute and they were coming. You know what? I'm almost getting, I don't want to use the word desensitized, but it's becoming a bit much. These stories are horrific. They're salacious. If this man did all the things that he is being accused of, I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say. But what I'm not liking in all of these lawsuits are clearly an enterprise was involved. Clearly an enterprise was involved. My thing is, name these other people. Because if these other people did not help him, a lot of victims would not be victims right now at this moment in this time period. Name these other people. Make these other people pay also for what they did. Because everybody's talking about the bodyguards and this one. He wasn't doing these things alone. The girl is saying that one of the lawsuits I read, the girl is saying it was her and her friend. Then the door was open. The friend got away. She didn't. She got away later. He wasn't holding both of you down on your own. Other people need to take the hit for this also. And I don't see where all this money is going to come from. And everybody keeps saying he's going to give up names and he's going to settle these lawsuits. He's not settling another suit. I will be completely shocked if he just settles another suit. He's not settling another suit. He's not. And he's not going to give up names. He's not. He's not. What I think he's expecting and what could be happening secretly undercover is some of these big names are throwing some money towards his defense team to help with that bill. But he's not giving up names. He's not. If names are too big and it's too many of them versus him, he's not going to give up names. Those are my thoughts. So, but you know what, Emmanuel, my thing is, after a while, how many witnesses do you need? I'm not for you giving 100 people to be a witness versus one person. Someone helped him. People helped him. They need to go down. They need to go down. So we're going to get into these stories today. The title is called Wild, because when I'm reading these stories, but see, I'm going to go back to this. And one thing y'all know over here, but I always put the disclaimer out there in case somebody new comes through the chat. Y'all know I don't do no victim shaming, but I will do some education. A lot of them found themselves in said situations. Why? Because they was looking at the almighty dollar. I don't need to meet a Beyonce, a Jay-Z, a Oprah, a Tyler Perry. No, I don't. No. If I meet them, nice. But I'm not going to put myself in all kinds of crazy situations just to meet a celebrity or somebody with money. I am good. I tell y'all all the time, nothing wrong with a studio apartment. Nothing wrong with driving a non-luxury car. Nothing wrong with the pocketbook that came from Walmart, Target, Marshalls, TJ Maxx. It's okay if you're not carrying a bag that's $6,000, $7,000. It's okay if you don't have on the red bottles. It is also okay if you do have on the red bottles and you carry a $6,000 bag. As long as whatever you do it in a legal way. And you're not selling yourself to the devil to get said things. Because you can't sell yourself to the devil and then come to me asking me for a refund. I can understand that I'm going to roll with, okay, let's just say a lot of people were scared. They thought they wasn't going to be believed. Nobody went to the doctor. Nobody have a hospital report. No one has a R kit. I'm just asking. Everybody just went home. Why? Because Diddy did this to them? We got to talk. And we got to save some other people. Now, I believe one of them now, he was 16, saying he was invited to a Diddy party. How do you find yourself 16 at a Diddy party? We got to protect our kids. We got to protect our kids. 16 at a party. And I feel horrible if what this person is saying Diddy did to them. Horrible. But I will also say this. At some point, people heard the rumors about these Diddy parties. And I don't understand why they still found themselves at a Diddy party. But buckle your seatbelts, people. Respect each other in the chat. Know that everybody got the right to their opinion. Do not come at a person. Come at the conversation. I'm going to bring the people in the building. Y'all know what I need in the chat. I need a what, y'all? I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It is Monday Night Trending Topics, and the title is called Wild. We're uncovering discrimination in the NYPD detective department out there. A single mother says she worked her way up to become a detective, and they just treated her so bad to the point where she ended up going out on leave, and now she is suing them. And then we will get into these Diddy's latest lawsuits. I pulled up one of them. I'm not going through it today. I may go through them another day because it's getting to be too much, the details of what happened to these people, and it's extremely sad. Extremely sad. I'm trying to figure out, I still haven't researched it or whatever the case may be. I still haven't figured out how does someone just, it seemed like on a regular basis, 24/7, he just has this need to be sexual. I just wonder, he got to be in there detoxing off the substances in the sex. Because they're saying that he's on lockdown 23 hours out of the day as precautions, because you never know what someone may try to do to him behind bars. So I'm just wondering, like, how is he surviving, detoxing from a lot of these vices that he has? So I'm going to go ahead and bring the people on in the building. Hold on one second now. Let me bring the people on in. Hey, Savannah. Hey, Wayne. Hey, Katrina. Hey, Felicia.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, hey Julius. Hey, Tay. Hey, Dustin.
Hello.
Hey, y'all.
Hello. Listen, everybody, hit that like button.
Hello,
Y'all got
Diva.
the Diva working. Hey, Dustin. Y'all got the Diva working. I need y'all to hit the like button, okay? Keep me in the building. I'm going to jump right into it, okay? I'm going to jump into this NYPD story that I was going to do last night. So let me go ahead and share screen. So an NYPD detective says she faced unbearable discrimination, harassment as a Black single mom, and she is suing. So an NYPD detective faced daily acts of sexism and racism, including being called a savage, and was bizarrely taunted with the color green because she got into a dispute with an Irish higher up, a lawsuit says. I wanted to be a detective for so long, and now being a detective makes me feel like I should have just left the job. 16-year department veteran and plaintiff cop Anna Ruth Laguerre recently told the Post. The harassment started about a year ago when a 38-year-old single mom asked for an accommodation to drop her off her two boys, ages 10 and 14, at school in the morning, according to a lawsuit filed on Thursday. Lagarde was soon barraged by threats, racist images, and comments that sketched across two precincts, court papers say. The detective says in her suit that she worked in the 123rd precinct on Staten Island for nearly a decade and a half as a regular cop and enjoyed it. But when she started training for detective there in 2023, she suddenly faced a whole new set of colleagues and started being treated in a way that was different than her first 15 years with the NYPD. For example, after challenging a fellow trainee over him wanting to take shortcuts in a kidnapping investigation, he called her a savage and an animal, her lawsuit says. Then after she made detective in October 2023, she was repeatedly forced to work the early morning detail, despite having been previously given an accommodation to take her kids to school, the suit says. Lagarde, the only Black detective in the precinct, was forced into the detail because of her race, her suit says, noting other mom detectives got exemptions. That is her with her two boys. I took the job to help people and help others, not to get on the job and be mistreated and discriminated against, she told the Post. And another incident, when her son had an emergency at school, Lagarde's supervising sergeant told her she still needed to help out with another detective's arrest and that she couldn't leave to the end of the day, her suit says. Lagarde tried to file a complaint and reached out to her union delegate, but that just kicked off with what became a daily deluge of racist and sexist torment her tormentor her, she said. Around the office, her new co-workers began wearing green in solidarity with the Irish American sergeant, her suit says. When a person made a horrifically racist phone call to the department about inserting metal rods into black women, the sergeant laughed, court papers claim. That's the Totenville I know, the sergeant said, according to the lawsuit. The next day, a racist image depicting a New York Knicks player was hung up in the precinct, the suit says. The constant coordinated harassment against Lagarde only intensified, including with all green thumbtacks, green folders, and green lights being placed around the office, clothes put on her desk, and someone changing the color of her LED backlit keyboard to green every day, court documents say. It continued even when she was transferred to Staten Island's 122nd precinct, she told the Post. Someone there tried to change her keyboard color to green, but they couldn't figure it out, Lagarde said. Lagarde decided to take a week of leave because 7 months of harassment just got to be too much. But when she returned to work June 26, she only lasted a day before taking leave again, she said. She ended up hospitalized for over a week after a psychiatric break last month over the torture and remains on leave, her suit says. She hasn't worked since. The NYPD has constantly ignored complaints from officers who report discrimination, enabling a retaliatory culture to thrive unchecked, her lawyer John Scola told the Post. But the city and the NYPD declined to comment on pending litigation, but the police department added that the agency does not tolerate discrimination or sexual harassment. So here we are. We know about all of the Diddy cases. And unfortunately, you have a situation here, everyday workplace, young detective, a mother of two, and she's claiming that, they really discriminated her to the point where she just had to take leave. Savannah, your thoughts?
I see much hasn't changed since the 90s. I recall when it was Mayor David Dinkins, I believe his name was, and Felicia, correct me if I'm wrong. I recall him. I recall that he was violently protested against. There was an incident off the Brooklyn Bridge where racial slurs and just a lot of hate and bigotry were aimed at Mayor Dinkins at that time. Um, it is no secret, Irish American. They hold a lot of the boroughs, a lot of stock in real estate in a lot of the boroughs in New York City. It's just like Hispanic Americans, especially the Cuban population down in Miami. Um, the Irish Americans, even in the NYPD, they have been under some internal investigation cases that I have recalled seeing in whether it's the New York Post or Wall Street Journal, but I recall a lot of discrimination against other cultures and ethnicities. So if you're not one of them, then you're against them. So I hope she has a really strong lawyer. I pray that she doesn't get Benjamin Crump and really exposes the basically it's like a mob or a mafia in this precinct, but just in the NYPD in general. So and I hope she has documentation as well to prove everything that the racial and sexist discrimination that she has been facing. And I'm pretty sure it's not just her. I think there's other women of different ethnicities that have been going through something very similar. And hopefully they band together and expose the injustices that have been going on for decades in the NYPD.
Appreciate you. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yes. I feel sorry for her.
Mm-hmm.
I hope she get everything that she deserves. You know, she's trying to take care of her boys. She's trying to work. You know, she asking them for things so she can continue to work, and you still against her. Then you intimidate her at work. You got her to the point where she's stressed out. She has to go into the hospital. That's a sad situation. And like Savannah said, I hope she get the right type of lawyer to expose what everybody know. Like you said, Savannah, what happened with the NYPD. I hope she get the right thing, the right lawyer. Keep a paper trail. Always keep a paper trail to show exactly what's going on when this happened. I hope she's been taking pictures and everything. And I just hope that she get the justice that she need for her and her boys, because she's out there trying to put her life on the line. She's putting her life on the line for the people of the New York City, and she's still getting hate. That's sad. So I really hope that she get everything she deserves. I really do. And if they even try to fire her, she can get them for wrongful termination, especially when she haven't did anything that she wasn't supposed to do. So I hope she just get everything that she deserved, that her and her boys deserve. That's all I got, Diva.
Thank you. Dustin, your thoughts?
My thoughts are, I hope they get the justice that she deserves, because nobody deserves to be treated like that, David. Not at all. And I hope that whoever's doing this, I hope that whoever did this to her loses their job, because this is not the way to be treated at your own workplace.
Thank you, Dustin. Tay, you're up.
It's hard to be a woman in the man world, to work and do everything for your family, your friends, because, oh, they think women should stay home mom, be a wife, don't not working, let the man do it himself. No, this is the independent woman. We do it independent. As a woman, we don't need no man. We take care of ourselves. And that's how it is right there. Because this woman right here, she take care of 2 kids by herself, and she probably had the whole village right there. And you gonna do that to her because she's a woman? I hope she get every dime, every penny, nickel, a quarter, you name it. I hope she get everything for that apartment right there. That's all, Diva.
I appreciate you. Thank you, Tay. Felicia, your thoughts?
Hey everybody, good evening. Good evening. I hope everybody's doing well. Thank you, Tay Tay, for that commentary.
Good evening, Felicia.
Good evening. I was thinking the same thing. She has so many tough jobs. You know, being out here on these streets, there's always so much going on. And then she has 2 sons she has to raise, and they're trying to mess her up, but not being able to get the kids to school on time and not have them picked up, and creating all kinds of emotional instability with the kids and things like that. So I stand with Katrina and Savannah. And Savannah, yes, you're right. Yeah, that was the NYPD out there with all the signs against David Dinkins. And, you know, it's gotten a lot better, but it hasn't gotten good enough. In fact, for those of you who know the mayor here in New York City right now, he ran on Law and Order. He was before this, he was in the police force. And now there are all these allegations of bribery and wire fraud. Everybody getting indicted for Christmas.
Everybody.
And so, you know, I believe she's going to win. And I believe she's going to get both economic justice and criminal justice, because someone's going to have to pay for the things that they've done to her. Maybe it will be they will lose their jobs or get demoted or something to that. Thank you, Diva. I'm done.
Thank you. And I pray she does get justice. Increased Matter said, did she have any relatives to help her? She probably didn't, but The thing that struck a chord with me is she said that other people got accommodations and she had accommodations and they kind of revoked her accommodations, which is very sad. One article I read, her child actually got sick and they told her pretty much she couldn't leave. She couldn't leave. They told her she had to finish helping a coworker do a report on an incident that had happened. So they was really, just plucking away at her soul, so to speak. And it's a shame because she worked her way up. She said she was in a precinct 15 years. Then she started doing the study and putting in the work to become a detective. So she loved this job. And she said all was going well up until when she went to become the detective. It's very sad. Julius, your thoughts? And actually, Julius, before I come to you, it kind of runs into that theory in which Obama was speaking, that some people just don't like to see a female in an authoritative position. It's like they was okay when she was the cop, just the regular cop.
This is
One
the
second,
example.
Julius.
This
One
is
second. Yeah, one second, Julius. That was okay when she was being a cop, but then when she became a detective, she had a whole lot of heck to catch. Go ahead, Julius.
This is the example. It ruffles the ego feathers. There are men out there who love seeing women win. I am one of them, and best believe I am quite comfortable in my femininity. But you have those out there that have a certain view. As an example, case in point, that football player from the Chiefs. So let's just keep it real for one quick second. It's not that President Obama ruffled the feathers of our fellow brothers. He ruffled the feathers of our white brothers as well. Like, how dare you speaketh? Oh, he spoketh.
Circle back to the young lady, though,
Okay,
Julius,
so
with her lawsuit and what happened to her.
superiority. She put the work in, and they don't like a determined woman doing the thing. And it makes man one weak and scared. And that's what those sergeants are doing, running weak and scared. So now she has to file a lawsuit, unfortunately. But I pretty hope she gets all the goodness and blessings coming her way. And that's how I'm going to end my commentary.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to go ahead and roll right into our last story of the night, and it is the Diddy lawsuits. I said before that I think he's going to go down in history, not in a good way, in history with the most civil lawsuits known to mankind. And just as an informational piece, all of these civil lawsuits, they're coming fast and furious, but no one will even get to see their day in court with this civil lawsuit until his criminal case is all done. So that's just an FYI. So it's like God only knows how many, so many are coming out. God only knows how many more are to come. Let me just go ahead and I'm going to start with, today, a woman, a man, and allegedly a 16-year-old, suit came out from this Tony Busby accusing Diddy of similar things to what he's been accused of by others. So Diddy sued. You armed me under the threat of violence, the new lawsuit alleges. So Diddy's legal team is denying the allegations, telling TMZ in court the truth will prevail that Mr. Combs has never SA'd anyone, adult or minor, male or female. Diddy allegedly forced a college freshman to take her clothes off under the threat of violence, and once she was undressed, he forced himself on her and fondled her, emmed her, and r'd her, all while she was begging him to stop, at least according to the new lawsuit. The Bad Boy Records founder is being sued by a woman in Tennessee who claims she was only 19 years old and a freshman in college in 2004 when she got invited to Diddy's photo shoot across the street from her college campus in Brooklyn, New York. According to the lawsuit obtained by TMZ, the woman says she was flattered and excited to receive an invite from a celebrity like Diddy. She went to the photo shoot with one of her girlfriends, where she says they met Diddy and were invited to an after party at a Manhattan area Marriott hotel. The woman says she and her friend agreed to go to the party, and they were taken to the hotel by a member of Diddy's entourage. Well, we need this member to be charged also. And when they got to the hotel suite and tried to mingle with guests, drinking and listening to music, they were instead grabbed and taken into a separate room. She says she asked the guy who took her to the room where they were going, and he responded, "You know what you're here for." In the docs, the woman says she and her friend were then locked inside a room with Diddy, and she says he gave them drinks and told them to do cocoa that he had prepared for use on a coffee table. She says she didn't want to do the cocoa, and Diddy continued getting gradually more aggressive with her and her friend, to the point where he began touching them without consent. The woman says when they resisted, Diddy ordered her friend to perform oral on him and threatened to unalive the both of them if she didn't. The woman says her friend complied, and she begged Diddy to let them leave, to which he did not agree. In a suit, the woman says Diddy soon turned his sights on her and forced her to undress under the threat of violence, allegedly forcing himself on her and SAing her. She says the doors to the room ultimately opened. She believed it was due to her cries, and the security guard who brought them to the room came in to ask if everything was all right. And that's when her friend bolted out of the room. The woman says she couldn't escape, though, because Diddy was still on top of her. The woman who is suing as Jane Doe says Diddy got off her to talk to the security guard, and the men left the room, and Diddy told her to stay, threatening to unalive her if she left. She says she sat in a dark room by herself for about 30 minutes until a different security guard came and told her she could leave. She says she got her things, left, and immediately called a taxi back to her college dorm. Some 20 years later, the woman is now suing, and she wants a jury trial. She's being repped by Tony Busby, the attorney who says he's representing 120 alleged Diddy victims. Diddy Bad Boy corporations are also being sued, as is Marriott International. Busby says Marriott management was well aware of Diddy and his activities and looked the other way rather than intervene. We reached out to Diddy's camp in Marriott. So far, no word back. So that is one young lady that is suing. And then we have the men that are suing, and one was 16 at the time. Let me just go into this particular story, and then we will go around and talk. So men sued. Diddy sued, men claiming SA Busby barrage begins. So Diddy's legal team is denying the allegations, telling TMZ in the court that the truth will prevail and that Mr. Combs has never SA'd anyone, adult or minor, male or female. The floodgates are open, and Diddy is being sued left and right by people who claim he SA'd them, including a handful of men. Diddy has now been named in 6 separate lawsuits filed by Tony Busby, the Texas attorney who says he's representing up to 120 alleged Diddy victims, and 4 of the 6 files so far feature male accusers. In one suit, Amel says he was working for Echo Clothing back in 2008 and knew Diddy through his work, as Diddy was developing and marketing Sean John, a competing brand. He says he ran into Diddy and Diddy's 3 bodyguards in the stockroom of Macy's flagship store in New York City in May 2008. And he claims someone pistol whipped the back of his neck and caused him to fall to his hands and knees. He claimed Diddy approached him and said, "Perform oral on me," Echo, right? And brutally orally armed him. In another suit, a man claims he was hired to work security for Diddy's 2006 white party, where he believes he consumed a drink laced with GBH and/or ecstasy. He says Diddy forced him into a van, overpowered him, and SA'd him. The man claims Diddy inserted his private into the man and sodomized him. He says the alleged R resulted in stuff happening to him. I don't want to get that graphic. Another man suing Diddy claims he went to a Diddy party in October 2021. So this is recent, more recent, where he became disoriented after consuming one drink. He says the room started spinning, and the next thing he remembers is being in a bedroom, paralyzed. He said at least 3 men SA'd him and did other things to him. And then he said he distinctly recalls an unclothed Diddy standing like in the distance. Now, this is the 16-year-old that he's pictured here with. They're blaring out his face. He was 16 back in 1998, and he found himself at a Diddy party. A 4th lawsuit is from a man who says he was only 16 years old when he was invited to Diddy's 1998 white party in the Hamptons, where he says they snapped a photo together. He said that Diddy took an interest in him and took him to a more private area to chat, where Diddy told him he had the right look for the music industry and could be made into a star with Diddy's help. He claims Diddy abruptly told him to drop his pants and expose his body for inspection. And with Diddy saying it was a rite of passage and asking, "Don't you want to break into the business?" He says he succumbed and dropped his pants, exposing his area, and claims Diddy violated him. The lawsuits are among the 120 Busby says he'll be filing against Diddy. This is all horrific, salacious, terrible stuff. And it's just becoming so overwhelming and like crazy to me. I don't even know what to think anymore. But I will say this. I feel like if you're a juror on the Diddy trial, and let's say the prosecution side, even if they bring 50 witnesses to tell their horrific stories, I feel like his goose is cooked. Savannah, your thoughts?
And I don't think we have started to even scratch the surface of all the mountain of lawsuits that are going to continue to come, and the stories are going to get more salacious, more sickening, and it's just going to be continue to be hard to digest and dissect and connect all these stories and allegations together. I mean, no one, Sean Combs, I mean, no one can deny that in the 2000s, Sean Combs, these parties, these events that he threw, he elevated partying to an art form. These people, from A-listers, politicians, artists, media execs, fashion designers, people were lining up to get into these parties, whether they were in the Hamptons, because he brought that especially that white party event, he brought that to the Hamptons. And because the Hamptons used to be an exclusive, clear only society, and they didn't know anything about this hip hop culture that was overtaking music, fashion, because fashion designers even seen what attendees were wearing to these parties, and then they will mirror their fashion line as to what was being worn at these events. Places like Miami, sometimes these clubs do not shut down. I know of a couple clubs that are open till 5 a.m. and it's just nonstop going. I want to be careful with the words that are being used tonight, but it's just a nonstop. And him moving to Miami, that was one of the attractions because everything went, and it's no secret that Diddy had law enforcement, politicians, and so many on payroll. Um, there's going to be plenty of victims, but there's also going to be plenty of clout chasers that are going to come out and tell their stories. But I just think we're just barely scratching the surface. This is going to go on well into, it's going to dominate all 2025, especially if his trial is in May or sometime in the summer. But I don't think we will see Diddy out in the streets anytime soon as these um, cases, because Busby said he's representing over 120 clients that he has vetted and confirmed whether because they have presented some type of evidence to him.
Yeah.
Out of the 3,000 plus calls that he got, he was able to verify the 120 plus clients that he's now putting out these lawsuits. So I heard it was 4 that he put out, but 1 is sealed. I'm assuming that one may be a minor. I'm not sure. I haven't heard much on that
Well,
story, but
it's actually
we
6. It's actually 6 that he put out. And listen, at the end of the day,
what was 6?
16, they told us about the 16-year-old, and the 16, that's minor, isn't it?
That is minor. And I've stated here before, I have seen minors line up to get into a Diddy event. That is not no secret. I have seen them in up and down South Beach. And once you go in or line up into these events, you're roped off and there's security there. So but I have seen young females line up at these Sean Combs events in the past, in the 2000s at the hype of it all. So we're just beginning to hear the stories. I just know there's more out there that are we're not gonna be able to wrap our mind around.
Yeah. Well, let's say this. We know at the very least he turned 50, I want to say in 2020. And so that was just 4 years ago. Everybody and anybody was there. They're all ducking and hiding now, acting like they don't like Diddy. They couldn't stand Diddy. They never been to a Diddy party, didn't want to go to one. But yet, when he turned 50, everybody was in the building. Everybody who was anybody was in the building. And he was said to have been throwing these FO parties all the way up to allegedly even this year. Crazy to me, but even this year. So somebody was still attending these things. Katrina, your thoughts?
You know, Diva, they want to call a woman a succubus, but this is a true succubus. He's a walking demon. He around here tossing these people salads and just taking advantage of these people. This man is insane, allegedly, because we don't know nothing for sure. But so we gonna say allegedly. But this is a walking demon. Anybody that do, man, you got all that money and you can't find you a boyfriend or a girlfriend that you can just keep there. You got to go around taking stuff from other people. Is it a thing about control because you have the money and then you threaten their lives and things? Allegedly. The only person that I've heard that said something about him, I think it was Denzel Washington, when he said that he was at a Diddy party. And I don't know what happened, but they said Denzel went to him and said, "You don't respect nobody," and got his wife and left. So that's when we be hearing Denzel say he leave before the devil comes out. I guess that's what he was talking about. But the situation is, this man, he need to be exactly where he is. And I, like you said, Diva, I don't know how they keeping him from not going into seizures and anything coming off those substances that way. So they got to be giving him some type of IV medicine, probably Valium. I mean, sorry, the V, and some of the other stuff, because when you coming off stuff like that, your body goes into draw. It shuts down if you don't have the proper medication for that. But anyway, I, the stories that keep coming out, we get so many. So we got to decipher what's real and what's not. And like you said, we hope that the ones that do come in, the people get justice for this and not mess it up for the other people because they coming in with lies. Because there's so many, you don't know that so many people been to the party. He probably can't remember half the people that came to the parties either. And you can't say, I don't know if she wasn't there or not. I mean, you see what I'm saying? Or he wasn't there or not, because he had, like Savannah said, so many people lined up to go into his party. So he can't determine what he did to this one and what he did to that one. It's a shame. It's disgusting. And like I said, he is a walking demon, and he's exactly where he needs to be, allegedly. That's all I got.
Thank you. Dustin, your thoughts?
Can you hear me now, Diva?
Yes.
I think it's sad. The whole situation is sad, and I hope the people get the justice that they deserve, and I hope that he gets to stay in prison for a long time.
I think, yeah. Thank you, Dustin. Tay, your thoughts? Are you there, Tay? All right, Felicia, your thoughts?
Hey, everybody. No, I think Tay-Tay's connections aren't so good.
Okay.
With Helene, the hurricane, yeah. You know, it's a lot. And I thank everybody for hanging in there. There's so many more to come. The narratives are very similar, so it gives me pause. It makes me think. But I'm still waiting for the 25 minors. I don't know if that 16-year-old one is one of the 25, but I'm looking forward to getting those, hearing those, and seeing how this is now partnered with the indictment. They say there's going to be a superseding indictment that's to come, and I gather that these complaints that are coming in will be incorporated into that, because it is my understanding that these civil suits will not be settled, discussed, anything until after the criminal case is resolved. I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you. Julius, your thoughts?
Lord have mercy. Well, at least this lawyer is doing something better than Gloria already, and is trying to verify the information. I can at least say that.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Julius. Listen, this thing is we got a long way to go, because we know the trial is not starting until May of 2025. That's the date they're calling at this time period. He goes back to court. I'm not sure what it's about on December 18th. Diva's going to try to be over there at the courthouse on December 18th. So we'll see how it goes. If I'm able to go there, get inside, because you know in Jersey, December, it's already cold outside. I can't be outside nobody's courthouse freezing, but I'm gonna see if I can go do some, on the ground reporting on December the 18th, if they stick to him actually returning to court on that date. I want to thank everybody for coming in. We came under time for the first time ever. Thank God. Like I said, I will be recapping the Real Housewives of Potomac. I just have to figure out my timing and when I'm going to do it. They did 2 episodes so far. I am enjoying the show. I just don't like what they're doing with this DUI thing, because that is not a joke. I think it's very serious. Miss Mo Better, I'm gonna go there. We're gonna see how it goes. Other than that, guys, if you didn't hit the like button coming in, hit the like button on the way out. Good night and goodbye, everybody. I'll see you next time.